Hello, everyone. Welcome to Incredible Podcast, and I'm my car host, and I'm also known as the Smiley Guy. Of course, Smiley Guy, my car. Yes, that's me. And I'm here to discuss that the Seventh-day Adventist Church, also known as, well, the Remnant Church, in this case, I believe has come like ancient Israel, apostate ancient Israel. Back in the days of ancient Israel, they kept disobeying God. We all know the story. They kept disobeying God, getting into trouble, and backsliding and everything else. And many times God has delivered them from their enemies, and they go right back to backsliding again. That's the case in the state in which the remnant church is in now. They have backslidden greatly, big time, and they have backslidden big time, and they have no means of turning now, unless. But once again, I've said in a previous video that unless we as the remnant church do what we're supposed to do and preach the gospel to the world and preach to those who are lost, who have not ever heard this message or heard the three angels message, until we do that, the Lord's going to continue to delay his coming, and we're not going to go anywhere. The Lord's not going to come, basically, anytime soon, until we do our part. The remnant church does its part. So, but the Lord is going to fulfill his promise, not slack on his promise. He is going to fulfill his promise, and he's going to come. He's going to finish the work with or without us, with or without the church. So, but bottom line is, what the Lord's going to have to do, because the majority of the remnant church, the SDA church in this case, if the SDA church is the remnant church in these last days, the Lord's going to have to raise up a remnant out of a remnant, basically. So, because of what I'm hearing that's going on in certain churches, certain SDA churches, things that are going on that should not be going on in those churches, based on things I've heard. I won't describe some of those things in detail, but I'll just say that it's not good. So the things I'm hearing that's going on, that's happening in our churches, our SDA churches, is not good. It has become like Babylon, some of them, and it's just too bad to actually describe. So we have backslidden big time. We have become like ancient Israel. Many times over, we backslidden, just like ancient Israel. We're on the borders of the promised land, basically, and we're just messing everything up, messing up with backsliding, and only a few. Just like in ancient Israel, days of ancient Israel, in the days of Joshua, only two made it to the promised land. It's only going to be a remnant that's going to make it in this time, a remnant out of the remnant, basically. So that's why it's only going to, I believe there's like 80 million professed Seventh-day Adventists in the world, across the world, and out of that 80 million, it may only be maybe a few that's going to actually make to the heavenly promised land, the real promised land, because of the things that's going on, because of the apostasy, the great apostasy and stuff that's going on in the certain churches that I shall not name or shall not put out there. So from what I heard, basically. So what we need, those churches should be warned, basically. I think that maybe some of the influential SDA pastors, your Doug Batchelors, your Stephen Moores, your Andrew Henriquez, and maybe Jeremiah Davis, some of those, to name a few of the top maybe influential pastors, should perhaps maybe go and maybe warn these other churches and warn those other pastors of those churches, these apostate churches, that warn them about that they are fulfilling prophecy, and they're in the Laodicean condition, not just Laodicean condition, condition, but they also acting like ancient Israel as well, and they fulfilling prophecy as well, because according to the writings of Ellen White, once certain things happen in the SDA church, if they reach apostasy, the probation is getting ready to close, basically. So, but that's another topic. So basically, but bottom line is, the Lord's going to move on and raise up and choose a remnant out of the remnant. So that's what he's going to have to do in order to finish the work, because apostate, the apostate SDA is supposed to. So he's going to have to call out a remnant, the remnant. If anything, the Lord will send angels to finish the work, basically. If he needs to, he will send angels to finish the work, because he is going to finish the work. The work is going to get finished. He's going to come. The Lord is going to win the battle, so he's not going to not come basically. We're not gonna, go that far as to hold him up and not do what we're supposed to do to the point where he doesn't come at all, and the plan of salvation fails, because that is possible, but it will not happen, because God is going to, if necessary, send angels to finish his work. So, but he is going to call out a remnant of a remnant. That's what he's going to end up doing. But it will be a good idea for the top influential pastors, the ones I've named, to go out and maybe warn these other churches about the apostasy. We need certain people to give basically a certain sound of the alarm, so to speak. So for the ones who can reach them, basically, I can't really reach them where I'm at. So we need some of our pastors of more influential pastors to go out and try to reach these apostate churches, and pastors who are over these apostate churches, or at least warn the congregation. Because what do you think the congregation, the ones who are sitting under these apostate pastors, what about the newly baptized souls, if the ones who decide to return and become Adventists, basically, and they get baptized, but they're sitting under an apostate pastor or sitting in an apostate church? What is that going to do to them, basically? What's that going to do to them? So that's not going to be good for them, because now they're not going to get the true message. If that church is an apostasy, they're going to have to go to a true church. So a church where where they teaching the truth and teaching that we should complete God's work and the third angel's message and get the third angel's message. So because I believe that certain events are about to unfold. We've seen it happen. Church and state is uniting, and Sunday law is actually close. So, and according to, like I said, writings by the White, once the passing of the Sunday law happens, probation closes for the remnant church, and whoever's ready at the time, there'll be probably going to be a small remnant of the remnant that will be ready to give the final message to the world, because probation will have closed for the remnant church. So 70 Adventist church, according to the writings by the White. So if you don't want to be locked out, if they don't want to be locked out, I suggest we do what we're supposed to do and get ready, because things are getting ready to happen. Sunday law's getting ready to pass soon, so I'm not sure how soon, but it is coming. It's going to happen. He's also going to finish his work with or without his remnant church. He is going to just raise a remnant church, a remnant out of a remnant. So, but once again, it'll be a good idea for these apostate churches to be warned by the most influential SDA pastors. So naming the ones I've named, basically. So that'd be a good idea. Maybe warn them and everything. Have them warned and everything. So, and maybe warn the people that's sitting under them, because don't they not know? I mean, think about this. 70 Adventists got all the truth and everything, all of the basic, truth, like all the truth that, truth about the health message, about, the sanctuary, the investigative judgment, all these things. They have all this knowledge, truth and everything about prophecy and everything else. How is it that they can allow themselves to be deceived, or, how could they go into apostasy knowing that, knowing the things that we're supposed to know, that Adventists are supposed to know, basically. All the knowledge and things that Adventists are supposed to know, how is it that they can, that they can backslide and go into apostasy in the first place? You know what I mean? So how is it they can, with all this knowledge and everything, they knowing the truth and everything, how could they backslide and go into apostasy? Well, that's just like ancient Israel. Once again, ancient Israel knew that they had the calling. They was given the oracles of truth. The SDA remnant church has been given the last day message. So that's kind of the same thing. It is. And they've done nothing but abuse their privileges and abused it and did not do what they're supposed to do, for the most part. Ancient Israel. That's kind of what we're doing now. That's the state that the remnant church is in now. So we even changed our logo, as you can see here. The logo hasn't even changed. So that's supposed to be our logo right there. The real logo that's the real, true SDA logo right there. So regular line, old path, righteousness, bypass, self-sacrifice. This is what it is now, and that's not supposed to, that ain't our logo. That's not the SDA logo that it started with. So new path, what's that? New path, ecumenism, apostasy. See, apostasy. So, I mean, what is that? Seriously. So that looks more like, if you look at it, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be upside down cross. Interesting. But anyway, like I said, bottom line is, everybody, friends, we need to get right. So the SDA church, the remnant church, needs to turn this around. Stop acting like ancient Israel. We have the oracles of truth. We not just the oracles of truth and everything. We have the last day message. We need to give this to the world. Everybody needs to know about, the three angels' messages, the mark of the beast. Until everybody knows that things are not going to go on. The Lord's not going to allow the final events to happen until we have done what we're supposed to do and done our part. So all of us, like I said, need to get off. Well, we need to get off our tails, so to speak, and do what we're supposed to do. So we need to examine ourselves and make sure we have a right relationship with the Lord and everything else, and make sure we following everything we're supposed to be following, and then go out there and preach to the world and to the lost, and get everybody back and get them finish the work basically, and get back the ones who have strayed away and finish the work, and the Lord can come and we can go home. So, because how can you not get tired of this sin-sick world with this with suffering and dying and all that stuff? And I'm pretty sure many of you have loved ones out there who would want to see again, right? If you believe they made it, if they passed on and they made it in, that they were right with the Lord, they were saved, don't you want to see them again? So I'm pretty sure you have loved ones you want to see again. And like I said, the only way you're going to see them again is in heaven. So don't you want to get to heaven soon enough to see them? So, all right then. So if you want to do that, then I suggest that we get out there and finish the work, finish God's work, because you don't want you do not want an angel or stones or a stone or literal rock crying out in your place. You know what I mean? So, because what's going to happen is, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, and God's going to raise up angels and rocks to cry out in our place and to get the message in our place. And like I said, those who are not doing what they're supposed to do are going to be lost. So, because God had to send an angel in your place or so-and-so's place to finish the work. Now, God is God. He can make rocks talk. He can't do that if he wants to. So if he wants to raise up a rock people or a rocks to go give the message, he can do that because he's God. He's going to do what he has to do to finish the work. So just train the thought, and like I said, stop apostasy, stop apostatizing, get out of apostasy and start doing it right. Turn it around, get out there, finish God's work, and have a nice day after that. So just get it right, finish the work, do what you're supposed to do, and the Lord can come. We can get out of here, and I'm going to continue to pray for the church and everything. And of course, just do what you're supposed to do. Get out of the Laodicean condition and stop acting like ancient Israel, and let us get to the kingdom together. All right, until next time. Once again, this is my car, the Smiley Guy. Until next podcast, I'll be seeing y'all. Y'all have a good day, and God bless.